Welcome everyone to another exciting Cup of Joe. I'm already smiling. I can't. We're already goofing off in the beginning. Hope you guys had a fabulous weekend. Of course, my name is Lemmy Moore. I'm the host of Saturday Cup of Joe with Lim. Sometimes Bill. Maybe Bill will come on here. You never know. He's probably traveling the globe, checking off that bucket list without me while I'm here working and doing the grind. Anyway, it was such a great week I've had, and also I hope you've had a fabulous week. We went trick-or-treating last night. If you haven't seen my pictures of, some of y'all don't get that picture. It's like from the movies, the 80s movies, The Last Dragon. That's what it was. And I was like Bruce Leroy, and my son was like Show Enough. So you really got to go check those pictures out if you haven't seen it yet on my wall. It was a great, oh man, we had a great time in the Dallas area. Had lots of compliments because we actually could not find the pattern for that, for his little, costume. So we had to get it made, and we got that made like the last minute. It was great, and a lot of people who can dig the '80s was like, the Kung Fu show. You're Bruce Leroy, and he's showing up. They so got it, so it was awesome to do that. We have a lot of great things we're going to probably go over today. Some of the things we'll probably forget because we'll get deep in conversation with craziness. But I wanted to bring on this special guest because he was one of the first guys that was on the Cup of Joe originally. And some of you didn't understand my post this week. Well, the first Cup of Joe that we actually did was a long time ago. And we had a couple of guys on. We had Frank on. We had Michael Howard on. We had one other person on, and I can't remember who that was. But anyway, we had some deep conversations, and it turned into a mastermind. So it wasn't like a Cup of Joe. It was like a mastermind. And I remember someone saying, "You're not recording this, are you?" And I said, "Click, not now." So that is why I wanted to bring Frank back on. And for you guys who does not know Frank, you need to go to his Facebook page right now and friend him, because this is the guy who has gone through, he's walked the fire and he's walked on the coals. He's been stabbed. He's probably been shot at. I mean, he has done. If you think you're afraid to approach business owners, today is going to be a treat for you, because I'm sure Frank has some stories. And I'm just so blessed to be part of his life. So excited for him. He's actually one of the action takers inside the group. And he has been a local voice in the group. So it's my pleasure to announce to you guys, Frank the Tank. What's up, man?
Hey, Len.
How are you
Wonderful
doing,
introduction.
man?
Hey, I almost forgot about that first Cup of Joe. When you said you're bringing me back, it's like, when was I ever on? So
It was like the very first one,
it
man.
was the first one, and I remember Mike Howard, but I don't quite remember who else was on.
Yeah, I think BJ was on there too, and someone else. I mean, it's been a while. It's been a while.
Oh boy, but boy, a lot of water under the bridge, at least in my life since then, and I've come incredibly long way, unbelievably long way. Yeah, a lot of mistakes, man. A lot of imperfect action, a lot of getting beat up and rolled, like Muhammad Ali, the rope-a-dope, being on there, Hey, but I got a jab in, last week, or was it, about 10 days ago, and so
Right.
starting to fight back and find my sea legs, and well, the scene kind of reminds me of a little bit of that scene from Oh Brother, We're Out There, where that old-timey guy comes walking in. We're mass communicating here. I know there's some people from all over the world, and this is the first time I'm mass communicating with people. So welcome to all my Video Alpha friends, and I really do consider you very, very good friends, because some of you don't know my story. My most recent gig was working for cable television, the seventh largest cable company in the country, and it was very corporate. Yeah, I wore the tie and everything. It was all about CYA and turf protection. And I got to tell you, getting involved with Video Alpha the help has been incredible. Not once have I sent up a flare, and man, there were a lot of flares for me early on that you know, it was like a six-shooter. I was flying them off left and right, and I got so much help and support. It was just unbelievable. And one of the things, trying to prepare a few things for this, I was starting to try and list everyone to thank, and then I got afraid, thinking I'm gonna miss
Leave somebody
somebody.
out.
You know, because there were people that I might have touched once, that stepped forward and helped, and others have been more help on an ongoing. But with each successive help, I mean, Kenny, you even called me once and gave me a phrase, hopeful marketing, that I use. I mean, every time I'm out, I use that. I talked to him once, and he gave me a key component.
Right.
So it's like I've tried to open my mind to everything, and when I say I'm grateful, I really am grateful. And to me, it was interesting. I watched. I forget what the name of the movie was, but it was about Dr. Emoto, who just passed away in his work with water crystals. And if you talk to water crystals, their complexion changes. And the only thing that gives a more beautiful crystal, more well-defined crystal than saying love is gratitude. And so he suggests that gratitude is the most powerful emotion in the world, in the universe, in fact. And we're mostly made up of water. So, you know, I am truly grateful for all the help that I've got. And, you know, like I say, I'm just starting to find my sea legs. When Lamb first said, hey, we want you on Cup of Joe, I said, are you crazy? You know, get somebody who's, you know, like all your other guests who've been doing this for years, and you know, but I guess, you know, from my perspective, what I can talk about is somebody who started, what is it, 3-4 months ago?
Yep.
And who's walked the fire, got rolled a few times, and had a modicum of success. So, you know, that's where I can speak a little bit of.
That is awesome, man. And yes, it is kind of hard. I'm sure you don't want to leave most people out, but I just want to go back at the beginning, because I remember with our first Cup of Joe, this was all new to you. You were so excited. You were hearing things that we were doing. You were asking questions, and I kept saying that is the only way to get better in this type of business, to ask questions and take action in front of people that you know that's doing something, and that is going to be the simplest step. Now, if you go back now and not had done any of that, where do you think you would be right now, Frank?
Oh gosh, if I wouldn't have asked questions, or if I'd be dead in the water, man. I mean, because, you know, I've been so busy with this stuff. I know what it is truly like to be a small business owner now and wake up and truly not know what day it is. Okay?
Yep.
You know, and the other thing is, I'm from Nebraska, so cut me and I bleed big red. There have been multiple Saturdays I get up and I don't even think about watching a college football game, which is crazy.
Hey,
you know,
man. I
like,
understand.
okay, I've got this video to do. I got this description to write. I've got this and this and this. This is the first thing I think of. But you know what? That's the passion that and the enjoyment that I have for this, and that's where my wife Vicki says is this is your path. You've received so much help. You know, so many doors have opened for you. You've received so much support, and you're happy because. In the corporate world, yeah, we sold the cable TV gig, but just as a side note, and this is probably where my biggest discrepancy with cable came in, they are terrified right now of the internet and the competition, and they're desperately trying to find a way in. And their way in is so outdated and heavy and slow and expensive that it was a conflict, and Vicky would say it was a magical kick for me to get out of there, and recognize the power of video because I'd been in cable TV, and now to apply it in a different way, everything from ranking videos to the YouTube pre-roll videos, which I really like those, and I can talk a little bit about that. So for me, the video part of it was a key component. And, when I started doing this, there was so much out there coming at me. And
I'm sure there's more coming at you now that since you're in the mix, you know what I mean?
hey, I figured out just the other day how many different programs I've learned since that time. Do you know that I've touched like 55 programs now? I don't learn them all, but everything from learning WordPress to build my web page to whatever it is, I've gone in and actually used 55 different programs. And for me, a big goal in my life is to get where a 10-minute project actually takes 10 minutes.
Right.
Instead of 2 or 3 hours. But yeah, when I went at it, it came into the video, what I recognized is that there were two sides to this, that I could go out and sell the video that I was learning about, very similar to how I was selling, actually I was a sales manager, how my team was selling cable TV. But then the other part of it was, I thought, heck, this is the internet. I ought to, everybody talks about sales funnels and, having the leads come in. I thought, man, there's a way to automate this stuff. So I was a little bit over here and a little bit over here. And I still think both of those are where I want to go. But today, probably I want to focus on where I have had my success. Being out on the streets and making the calls and learning and what's helped me,
right,
all my mistakes in the video part of it.
That is awesome. And when you say being in the streets and making the calls, a lot of people fear that. They don't want to talk to the person that's going to actually pay them that good salary or whatever each and every month. And that is the key component. Like, I'm still a big cold caller believer. I'm still a big cold caller, and it's just hard for me to think that I'm going to get inside of a business office with just a simple email and then not ever talk to anyone. Bottom line, you're going to have to talk to people, and you should always be talking to people on the streets because you never know who you're going to run into. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Yeah, interesting. One of the calls that I was a cold call. I walked into a Raymond James financial guy.
Time out, Frank. You did not do that.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm just giving the audience a little like you cold called and walked into somewhere.
Well,
really?
oddly enough, his secretary was on the phone and he came out and greeted me. And I told him who I was and what I did, and he said, "Come back to the office." And we went back to the office, sat down, and says, "I'm interested in what you do, but first of all, can you help me with something? I'm dealing with this company, the cable company that I used to work with, and I think I'm getting screwed on my internet stuff." And I about busted gut laughing. I said, "I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing because I know that they tried putting you into a 12-month non-cancelable annual contract at $100 cost per thousand, minimum $10,000 per month, and you're not seeing any results other than 4 cells on a spreadsheet as you're reporting." And he's like, "Look, I can't help you because I couldn't figure it out either." But that ball maybe is in play. It was a $2,000 a month presentation that we built, and unfortunately, here's maybe my first bit of wisdom. He had hired a young marketing assistant kind of out of college, and I guess I got to realize no matter, and I heard David Schlaus talk about this.
Shouts out to EPC.
Yeah, when you go into a place and somebody hands you a business card, if it says president, owner, marketing director, that's not their real job. Their real job is keep my own job right now. So,
Correct.
and you've got to put them at ease. And we tried to put this young lady at ease that we weren't there to steal her thunder. We were there to help, and I that was a situation that I think I got sabotaged a little bit. And I did pay attention to it, but I probably, if I was to go back, would pay even more attention to it.
Right. Yeah. What in that situation? What I would do is come back like in 2, 3 months and see where they are. And
Right.
normally the boss, if you've talked to the boss, he remembers you. He has rapport with you, and so you can just say, "Hey, man, I'm just checking in. Lots of things have changed in the industry since the last time I was here. I just want to make sure you're up to speed. Would you like
Yeah,
some help?" And go from there.
yeah, and that's what I'm going to do because this young lady was burning a lot of time redoing the logo and maybe some things that really didn't need to be done.
Right.
And but anyway, so that was kind of a amusing experience. And I guess the other thing too, the cold calling. If I was to do it again, I would cold call, but what I would do is I would probably focus even more on maybe 10 or 15 major accounts. The 80/20 rule that 80% of the business is going to come from 20%. I probably spent too much time going into delis and gun shops and wedding cake places and but you know what? I learned something every time going in there, and I did stick some harpoons in a couple big whales, and I did get we did get one car dealer a foot in the door, and I've got some other decent sized ones that are still in play that I'm still waiting to hear on,
Right. Right.
but yeah, going in and cold calling, you got to have fun with it. And Lem, I know you have fun with it. You just go in and talk, say, and I guess here's the other thing too. I've had to almost redefine myself and come up with my own unique selling proposition. That I look at the things that I've done, and really I consider myself a turnaround specialist. Now, has it all been in internet? No, it hasn't. But I found out that if you just care about something, you're halfway to solving the issue. So I like to tell people I'm a turnaround specialist in marketing, sales, and advertising, and leave it at that because I started off going in saying, hey, I'm a internet guy. I can do this. I can do PPC. I can get and it was like I would see the gloss going over their eyes. I'd do 10 things I could do, and it's like, that was a mistake. And I realized that I had learned so much that when I was talking to people, they weren't there yet. So I learned to try and keep it simple.
Right.
Go from there.
That's it. Sometimes you gotta have your own catchphrase, when you walk in because that's your elevator pitch. You have to hit them and get them to, link with what you're trying to say and hit on their problems immediately. And it just builds up curiosity when you ever say whoever you are, what you do, which is awesome.
Yeah, let's see. What were some of the other things that, I've walked into people that really didn't have money. Uh,
There's a lot of people out there like that. Trust me. You're like, why
gun
am I wasting
shop.
my
Hey,
time with them?
yeah, gun shop. Come back 2 weeks. Come
Right.
back 2 weeks. Hey, the air conditioning went out. Hey, come back. Hunting season starts in 2 weeks. Come back then. Come back then. Attorneys. I've not had. I've made so many mistakes with attorneys. I had ranked. I had ranked about a dozen videos for an attorney. Actually got them pre-approved and was so happy, and then thought, hey, he decided he wanted to change to it, and it's like, dude, I just put these on page one for you. And you know what? I just took him down. I said, "Call me when you're ready." And I knew he wouldn't call, and he didn't. So I really realize how, like what Mike Howard and others say, and you say, you work in this business with people you like and
Yep.
people who get it, and that's why my approach when I do this side of what I'm doing, I want to see movement. I want to see the light bulb go off in their head, because if being on page one of a Google search or only being charged on YouTube pre-roll videos for people who watch the entire thing, if the light bulb doesn't go off, then there's no light bulb. You know, it's time to hit the next button and move on. And boy, it took me a lot of time to figure that one out. You can only go as fast as the client, I guess. And some clients, prospects, they're not there. I mean, and particularly, and I don't know if West Virginia is the business is anywhere remotely like that in Dallas, but I don't think it is. I think we're still behind the times, so I think it's even a little bit slower here on the uptake. For instance, the one client I did get, and I'll share a little bit about it with the success that I did have. It's a car dealer who I'll remain nameless, but I did do some research, and the one thing that I noticed about them is they had no Facebook. Well, they had a Facebook, but it had been like 3 months since anybody posted anything to it. No Twitter account. The G Plus showed their old, used, pre-owned building. Nobody was really paying attention to that. So what I did for them was I actually ranked a review video for the 2015 Chevy Impala.
Right.
And went in with that, and then talked to them about social media. And it was interesting because I know that these people bought a lot of TV, and they didn't like the company I worked with either for different reasons, but that got their attention. The fact that I took the time, and some people maybe wouldn't have done it this way, but I did take time and do a review of the 2015. He said, "This is interesting. I want you to come back." I went back to them on a Monday morning and pitched them in their Monday morning sales meeting, and had like 6 people there, and they put the commercial up on the screen. And a good thing I had, you can YouTube it, 2015 Chevy Impala Ashland. It's not a great video, but I did it. I did it in Camtasia, and it got their attention. And the other thing was, I came in with some packages. For them, it was good, better, best. Low, medium, high. Now for them, they somewhat go into a shell in the winter. They're not like a warm weather car dealer. Right. So I did get my foot in the door for going to be doing some videos, going to be doing some Facebook stuff, and I talked to them about some other things too. But bottom line is that video, showing it on page 1 of Google, and it was right there, sealed the deal.
Right. That is awesome. I remember when Kenny and I were actually getting into the car dealer stuff, and we did like a couple of videos like that, and they loved it. And I had some music going on with their logo and some pictures of their parking lot, and I mean that right there was an eye opener to them because it was a mini commercial for them. So they totally get it. Are they doing any kind of Craigslist posting or anything for that company right now?
Not yet.
See?
Not yet. I just, it's the nose under the tin. I'm telling you, I've already got things that I'm thinking about with them. But I was listening to some consulting tapes yesterday, or MP3s, and they talked about the way to scale up a business. And yeah, one way is to get new clients, but the other is to keep upselling who you've got. And my relationship with the owner now, because he's known me for several years when I worked with TV, and uh, now I'm doing this, and he sees what I'm doing, and I'm communicating well with him, and so there's a trust factor that I think builds and builds. But the other thing, Lem, about car dealers, that if some of the people on the call want to go into, I've talked to them about Facebook. A lot of these people are in cars.com, and there's one other one.
Oh, yes, they're all in those big major online publications, and they live and breathe by it. But then again, I've seen the trouble in that, and they're competing with all the other guys that are doing the same thing. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, that's where and I guess here's what helped me with that, is that I went in and the thing you got to know about the cars.com people, and that they're there on the lot all the time taking photos of the cars. All the photos you see on a car dealer's web page, it's the cars.com or these other people letting them use those photos. So the relationship there is pretty tight. But the way I did that is like, okay, you've got these two companies, that give you this much reach for that, but you're missing out on Facebook, you're missing out on Twitter, you're missing out on all this other pool of people that you can hit. Everybody, or a lot of people, not everybody, but I had a office assistant that was always on Facebook and Twitter during the day. I mean,
Right.
that's where people are. Okay, yeah, the cars.com, if you want a car, yeah, you're going to go. But, for maybe top of mind, top of brand awareness, you need to be doing something there. And I think that got him, because he was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, my last post was,
Right.
so many months ago, so
Right.
that really helps. So know that you've got to overcome that, because in your mind, that's what they're comparing you to, the cars.com people.
Yes, and you got to go in with a hybrid package. You got to tell them what this could be done. You could be seen with what you have right now with cars.com, but the only time people are really going to see them is when they type in cars.com. You want to grab the audience attention when they're doing their normal everyday activity. For example, if they're on Facebook, you collect those cookies. If they're on YouTube, whatever, you collect that input on them, and when they're going to watch their whatever, here'll be that nice video of your cars, and they'll go, I should go check that out, and then go back to that video, and you keep telling that owner, this is what we do. We have a wide variety of packages that we can help you win over just one site, and that's a mistake that we made too. We came in with just video and little Facebook, but now I see the bigger picture, and getting into a car dealership is not an easy task. Would you agree?
Not an easy task, because this is one where I did really try to stick on them. I mean, I had to go through the owner's son, who's going to take over the business, and I knew that's the way they do it. They want to see you show up.
Right.
And then I had to meet with the owner, then I had to meet with the group, then I had to go back and meet with the owner's son, who, so, but you know what? It's the foot in the door. Oh, the other thing too about the car dealer that he enjoyed, and I know Rebecca Happy likes this Gideon Sedgwick, or whatever his name is, on the YouTube pre-roll videos, but I did get hooked up with Google AdWords, and the thing with the pre-roll videos, and again, I like the videos. Now, when Google hooks you up with AdWords, and they will not try, you will get very little help on the YouTube pre-roll videos. They want to push the AdWords stuff. And
Yeah. That's money for them.
But you can control your YouTube pre-roll video from within the AdWords campaign.
Yep.
And the thing that, like, for my own self, Google gives you spend $25, I think they'll give you 100. So I ran my own little YouTube pre-roll video campaign. And the thing is, if the ad is 30 seconds or longer, if people have to watch at least 30 seconds for it to count as a true view, you only get paid, or you only get charged for true views. So if somebody watches it 20 seconds and they click off of it, you're not charged. And I think mine was like 17 cents a view. And yeah, you can go out by radius, you can have your demo. They enjoyed that, because what I can do is, we're in the tri-state area here, Kentucky, Ohio, West Virginia. He can move this around by zip codes and actually target and have better reporting, because the reporting on the YouTube pre-roll videos, it'll show you what bloody channel it showed up on. Now, think about this. Now, if you got a car dealer who's dealing with cable TV, you're dealing with missed spots, with co-op problems, and sometimes the missed spots are because of traffic or bad signals from there. I mean, it can literally be nightmare for a dealer dealing with a large cable TV company who's got like over 40 networks, not maybe just like one of your broadcasts. But this is like idiot simple to them. Hey, it's going to cost me between 17 and 25 cents per true view to get, and what I tell them is, if you want somebody to watch your whole video, okay, what you do is at the start, and I think I got this from Gideon, hey, are you interested in new 2015 Chevy Impala? If not, hit the skip button and enjoy your video. So you want to drive people off the thing, because you only want people who are interested in what you got. And he just like, wow. And really so that's what he's working on, going to start like I think November 7th on something like that. So he's cutting the video now for that.
Shouts out to my Australian friend Gideon. Gideon and I are like this right now. We've been cooking up some stuff for like since Video Summit. I mean, in him, and there's a lot of other guys. I got a guy right here in my backyard who's awesome. Those guys are awesome. And yes, the pre-roll videos are pretty nice. And to get them to actually get their attention like that and switched off and then switched off to another place, that's perfect without paying for that click, So that's. But
it's got to be longer than at least 30 seconds, because if you do a 15, it counts as a true view. So if like right now, my wife and I we watch videos at night, and there's one that's driving us nuts. Hey, me again. Nick Rahal voted with President Obama 94% of the time. Let's fire Nick Rahal. Enjoy your video. I got the thing memorized. I've seen it so much. Yeah. And I'm telling you, the Republicans got a lead right now, and I got to think that that's because they're using technology a little bit different, almost the way the Democrats kicked their tail the last couple elections with technology. So I think the Republicans might have learned something. So the YouTube is coming on, and I'm going to be using that now. There was a question somebody asked me, like, what do you charge for that? The thing with the internet is it's almost transparent. With YouTube pre-roll videos, you've got they put their charge number in that account, so that you don't get charged for the actual videos that come out there. So you charge a small maintenance fee, and somewhere between 10 or 15% of the monthly ad spend is what typically is done, that I found out. So maybe it's not huge money, but it's money that they like. And the thing about a car dealer is they might think they can manage this stuff, but I'm telling you, when stuff gets crazy there, it gets crazy. And like any business, they want to minimize their work. So if they can farm it out, they will if they trust you.
Well, Frank, back to just to bounce off what you just said, normally, like you said earlier, and this is what we do, we only find the people that can afford and understand advertising who can pay. I mean, like if they're gonna pay, if they're spending 40 grand in AdWords already and they're not having so much success, and then you come on and say, okay, I'm about to add this, you can take, 10% of that or 15, depends on what you want. 20% of that, if it's bringing them in revenue, they're fine. And I would also, go to the point of doing 1 month of testing just to figure out what the heck is going on, and then calculate the conversions. And then I would say, hey, you want more? Add more. Here's my fee. And they know you're a genius already, so therefore you've got a huge campaign that you're dealing with each and every month, which is great, So you're putting the hammer on the nail right now, brother. That's good stuff, man. And people right now going, time out. What happened to Frank's video marketing stuff? They're like, he's talking about pre-roll ads and all that. Bill and I have
the same thing, because I don't want to be a one-trick pony.
Right.
And to me, it's the videos. You could almost use the same video for pre-roll ad that you do to get ranked. I mean, you can just have a different intro, segment it with the branding video, and you're off and running. You make a little extra big money. So, Lem, more questions.
Yeah. That's true. I mean, that's where it's heading. Video marketing is still out there regardless. Video, period, is never going to go away. And like you said, the cable companies are fearing that they're going to lose their, attention rate on TV because the kids are actually watching more YouTube than they are TV right now, which is kind of scary. I mean, my kids watch a lot of YouTube stuff. They're sending me clips all the time. If the little man's upstairs, I'll say, hey, get down here and do your homework. What were you doing? Watching YouTube. And, I mean, there are some very awesome channels out there that you can actually go help some people who don't even know how to manage their channel. They're just doing what they have a passion for. You can actually help them. I mean, Mr. Eves himself, that's what he does, I mean, there's a lot of other guys that are out there doing the same thing. They're finding people with like these high subscription and high retaining view videos. I mean, there was a lady, like Bill was talking the other day, who was 90-something years old. She's passed away, bless her heart. And she had a cooking show. I think it was about depression cooking, and had tons of followers and tons of views. And she sold DVDs, man. I mean, I was like, oh my goodness, it's crazy. So there's a lot out there with videos right now. All right, so next question to you, Frank, is since you've got this hit now, are you going to start slowing down, or are you going to make your production expand? Talk to me.
Oh, gotta keep pushing forward. I mean, that's the thing. It's been interesting now to start doing some back office work for a client and do that. But yeah, you gotta keep pushing forward. One of the first things though that I guess I've done when I do go out is I've learned to almost check out almost the first thing before anything, because this seems to almost be a pretty good predictor. Check out their Google Plus page. If around here, very few people pay attention to their Google Plus page. And even the ones that do, if they throw up 1 or 2 pictures, they might have a couple bad reviews. So like, bam, right away, you could say, on your Google Plus page, you got 2 1-star reviews. You've got something almost before you go in and talk to them. And the other thing, too, you might think that big players got that figured out. I went into a hospital and was talking with the marketing director, and the thing about this, Lem, I went in and talked to him that he had, they do in-house maybe 2 or 3 videos per week. And so I was talking to him about getting these videos out. And he was like bragging on his Facebook page, but I said, yeah, but your Google Plus page has had 317,000 visits and doesn't look like anything's ever been done to it. And he went back in his chair and he's like, really? And I said, oh, go to it. Now, yeah. And I said, you've got a lot of doctors, too, that have Google Plus page pictures or Google Plus pages, but nothing on there, within the hospital. And I said, let me deal with that for you. So
Wow.
and I think, this is a big hospital, so even they who thought they had a big staff and were taking care of things and were happy with, 1,600 Facebook friends, were missing how people were searching for them on Google.
Right.
And you can get up there and with videos, have your all videos there, and so just know that what we're doing, we really are experts at this. And I know different people have said this, that sometimes I feel like I don't know hardly anything in this business, but I am, it's like I know that I know nothing. So but yet we know more than others. So go in and know that you know more than others, and go in with the spirit of helping them fix a problem. So I was going to help fix this guy's problem of 317,000 visits and nothing there but one bad review. So
that's something that I would probably say. What have you done with those 300,000 visits? Have you converted those into sales? And if you have, do you have any proof of it? And how did you do that? Which way did you send them? And what way can you bring them back? And they're like, what? I mean, you're going there with that confusion mode of what you know. They're like, you could do that? Yeah, you can do that, but you're not doing that now? They're
right.
like, no, I can't work with you, man. You're unorganized. No. It's going to take a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The other thing that talking with this marketing director, I'd known that they had tried AdWords in the past and weren't real happy with it. So I really wanted, when I talked to him about taking the videos, I actually ripped one of their videos down from their website and ranked it for like best cardiologist in Ashland. And I went in and said, think of it as like two sides of the coin. On one side you got the pay-per-click stuff, and on the other side you got stuff like what I'm going to do, and my stuff is evergreen. You stop paying for the pay-per-click stuff, it's gone. But this evergreen stuff is going, this is big money right here. So it's going to be there. Now, I hope my presentation, found good soil, but, that's the point where I wanted to drive home with them, that as I look at this coming from cable TV and doing it the traditional selling way, and not talking sales funnels or lead gen or any of that other stuff, doing it that way, this has got some staying power to it, and
right.
We'll see what happens with it.
All right. Shouts out to 5 Stars video. I want to bring in Bill real quick. Bill's joined us. He's got his little cup of Joe going on. I'm like needing it. I had a long Halloween night. What's up, Bill?
Good morning,
Bill.
Gentlemen. Good morning. Yeah, I don't drink coffee, so I got my cup of hot chocolate this morning. That's fresh, you know what I mean? So, pretty good, guys. Just, I'm the same way. We didn't go to bed till like 3 o'clock last night, so I'm still trending here. So, trying to get out of bed. But, yeah, that's pretty good. Pretty good. Tons of stuff going on. Lots of cool stuff with video ads and a lot of other things, too. So,
yeah. So
Frank.
Go ahead.
So I am super excited. I see all this talking about you, and I see the deals you're closing. Man, this is just super exciting. You know what I mean?
One deal so far. One
like,
deal.
No. That's right. That's currently. That's actually what's physical. But see, the rest of them are in play. I can see.
That's
it.
right.
You know what I mean?
And I guess Lem asked me if I was going to slow down, and it's like, no, I'm going to continue on with imperfect action, and that imperfect action combined with enthusiasm. If I was, I know we're maybe rounding turn 4 here. I guess that would be the only other thing I would mention is that don't be afraid to get out and make mistakes, because good God, did I make them mistakes. And even ranking the videos and doing everything, but I was just keeping going. But yeah, you got to get out. You got to, if you do it this way, the traditional way, you got to get out and meet people and do it. Don't get bogged down with perfection, because there were so many times too when I would, I don't even want to go back and look at some of my early attempts of trying to do first videos and like small little takes. I wanted them to be perfect, and if the cat knocked something over, I'd stop it instead of just like keeping the clip and adding it in the back and having fun with it. And I guess realizing that the new today's amateur is the new professional, and it's all about authenticity, and 80% is good enough. 80% is good enough, and so just keep pushing forward and don't get bogged down in perfection. So.
Frank, I like that a lot, and I'll tell you why. It's because, a while ago, I don't know how many of you guys know this or not, but so when we started doing this a year ago, using Hangouts, really, really powerful and everything, we would use different syndication software that would take the video and put it on, 30 blogs, 40 blogs, 50 blogs.
But do people still do that?
I think people still do. I don't know. But the thing, this is the problem. So you would syndicate all the blogs. So you would do the Hangout, okay, and then you would syndicate to all these blogs, okay. But here's the problem: if you messed up, you had to go back through all 30 to 50 blogs and delete your link. So that is, that's super. That's why we say, imperfect action. I still have Hangouts out there where I'm just like, I just cut the beginning and I just started over again. That seems to be the easiest way to do it. But I have other ones where I messed up halfway in between, and I'm just like, well, you know what, I'm real, guys. I just said something instead, and just keep going. You know what I mean? So, but that's the best thing is imperfect action is still doing something. It really is, and that's the most important thing, is to do something. Because if you're doing something, you're going to start to create.
Oh, yes. If you do nothing,
then you're still just going to get nothing.
Crickets.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, sir. So how about those corn hustlers this year, Frank?
Yeah, they should have beat Michigan State, but the game ran out. The game ran out just a little bit. So.
That is awesome. Wow. So, man, we're so proud of you. The things, looking way back, and wow. There was a lot of people that have actually touched you and actually trying to get you going, and we're so excited because I know, man, you were like, look, I got a timeline here, and, I've got to get busy. And with having a timeline, I know there's a lot of stress in the family, I'm sure, pressure, things to be done. You got bill collectors probably calling, going, hey, and I'm sure you were like, can I really do this? It gets to that point where you have to take yourself to a whole new realm. You're like, okay, this is serious. Can I really do this? What has kept you going so long? What has kept you going so long and strong?
Terror. I'm somebody who's competitive, but internally competitive, and right now, I'm grateful that I had the experience with the cable company that I did. But to tell you the truth, there's part of me that wants to do it a little bit better than them. And it was interesting, like I said, that Raymond James guy that I walked into to actually be faced with that. So I want to do a good job. I want to I have found after I left, it took about a month for me to decompress, and Vicky was like, "Well, now enjoy it. You know, work here and enjoy it." And I'm like, "Really? I can work from here and enjoy it?" And I found that I do enjoy it, and it's not as much stress since I left. Vicky hates me telling this, but I have lost a lot of weight. I mean, the stress is just gone.
Mhm.
No, dude.
This is
I remember talking to you like almost 2 or 3 weeks straight. Lim, I hate when it takes an hour to do this, and I know it should only takes like 6 minutes. I got to get off this phone. I got to go jog. And I'm like, damn, he jogs a lot.
But you know what? That even that was not stress compared to what I was going through, working
Right.
through this company that was very interesting to deal with. So, you know, and doing a good job and taking care of family and friends. You know, Vicky's family is still overseas, and it'd be nice to help out even more than what we have done. Um, you know, and just live a life that I have a more control over. And I guess here's again, I mentioned the word magical kick. You know, Vicky would say that being out of there, I didn't have the guts to do this on my own before, to
Right.
go out on my own. You know, Bill, I heard your story about how you walked in that day and quit. You know, kudos to you. I couldn't do that, you know. I didn't do it because, you know, I was comfortable. I was getting a nice paycheck and doing that. And but you know what? I regained my health this summer, even though I worked incredible, sometimes 12 to 16 hours a day doing this. But it was fun. It is fun to do this. It's fun to go out and talk to clients that we can get you on and we can do this. And right now, know what you offer. By and large, I don't think you've got a whole lot of competition yet. So now the downside of that is you got a little bit of educating to do, but the upside is run to daylight, baby. You know, take the ball and go. Just free, man. Just go. Be Forrest Gump. Run, baby. Run.
Oh, I love it. That's good stuff. Yeah, there is a point in time, Frank, you're probably on your computer for like 16, 17 hours at a time. Don't. Okay? I'm going to say that right now because I still get in trouble sometimes for being on my computer a lot, and I hear it. I see it in like the personal blogs and all that she has about our life and everything. And you have to step back and think, okay, by me being on this Facebook or on the computer learning these different things for like 8 hours this morning and then another 9 hours tonight, is that really important? I mean, you got to learn how to manage your time. That's what I was thinking to myself, you know. So you got to realize, you know, you got the Vicky there, and she's like you said, she's sleeping right now, but you got to put it all in, but you got to manage your time, man, so you can have her time because, you know. Well, but like Kennedy says already, he always says this: if you don't have the money, you can't have the honey. So regardless, you got to learn how to manage your time, you know. So
And
good
Vicky,
luck on
Oh my.
process has been absolutely wonderful and supportive, and I guess it
that. Right.
really helps when somebody else can see the doors magically open for you and recognize that this is your path, actually our path now, because you know she's going to be doing some things for the God's digital media as we go forward in
Awesome.
this. And I guess, you know, I don't know if we're getting ready to round or cross the finish line here, but just know that I started, what, 3, 4 months ago, learned everything I could, ranked some videos, and sold some things. It
Right.
can be done.
Yep.
Now I just got to scale this up, and it can be done.
Frank, let me ask you this. Do you have any goals?
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, in a year, what I would like to have is kind of probably at least 10 clients at generating at least $2,000 a month in revenue. And I think that's a somewhat attainable goal. Now, and I would consider that almost from the day we started. So the clock is kind of ticking on it. But I think that that is something that I can attain. My sales reps would manage anywhere from 12 to 25 clients. I think I can do the same here before I really think about bringing somebody else on board other than Vicky to help out. So really that's where I would like to go with this part. I think it's doable.
Right, that's doable. And you might want, I mean, that's your goals, but I know you can do more than that, and we'll talk about that later. But that's a good start. We'll put it that way. That's a great start, Frank. You know. Bill, I had to mute you because you were moving, and every time you moved to make noise, it like showed you walking. So anyway.
No, and then the dog went crazy.
Right.
So, you know. No, that's really awesome, Frank. I mean, I was going to show you guys, but I can't show you now. But we went through our goals again 2 days ago, and because like I'm a big thing for goal setting, but you have to do goal setting the correct way. A lot of people don't do goal setting the correct way, and that's why they never hit their goals. That's probably one of the biggest things. You know what I mean? And so, but no, that's really exciting. And you just want to keep adding them every month. But the biggest thing with that, and I think that's what you're starting to see, is not only the more action that you're doing, you're getting closer to a goal, okay? But you've had like a laser focus, which is the most important thing, is setting the intention that, hey, I am going to get new clients. I'm just going to keep going through it until I get them.
And I'm getting the talk down. And the more you get the talk down, the patter down, the more I see it, the more I believe it internally, the more it just naturally comes out, as opposed to, hey, I just started doing this, I can rank videos. No.
Yeah.
Hey, let me help you with your marketing. Let me position you on today's prime real estate on page 1.
Exactly.
It's a whole different mindset, and the only way to do that is jump in the pool.
Right, exactly. You have to jump in feet first. That's the whole key.
I don't know about y'all. I'm doing flips in that pool. Bam!
Well, you were an inspiration for me early on, baby. You.
Well, man.
The guy having fun, selling, he's doing it.
Well, you hit it on the nail earlier. I mean, you got to have your talk down. And the only way you're going to get your talk down, ladies and gentlemen, is to be in front of these people or talking to them. That is the only way, because they want to see that they're working, if they can work with you. And you need to see if you can work with them. You got to be able to communicate. I mean, if you don't communicate, I don't understand how you're going to get paid like that. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me when people just think they're going to get in by some simple click here or an email and then that's it. Really? You've got to go to a meeting or something. You've got to be exposed. I mean, you have to let them know that you're the walking whatever the new thing is. That's you. And they'll ask you questions. You got to have education for them, and you got to give them some few pointers. You got to willing to give up a few pointers to get them to be interested. Like you said, Frank, when you met that first guy, when the lady was on the phone, he was like, "Come on back here," and I bet you were thinking, "Oh no, boom, boom, here we go. Hope I don't screw this up." Boom, boom. You can hear yourself breathing. You know what I mean?
Yep. Exactly.
Another mistake I made, and maybe for some of the newbies on here, is probably early on when I went out, and I'm talking to, again, sandwich shops and whatever, I was starting to tell them too much of how I was going to help them, as opposed to just saying, let me create some magic for you. And you don't care what color cat catches the mouse. Let me do that for you.
Right.
And I probably glazed a lot of eyes over saying I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. So keep it keep it simple on more on how you can help them, how you can make the phone ring, just like that. Answer their questions if they ask it, but figure out a way to position yourself as the guy who can help them with their problem.
Boom. Bill, did you trick or treat last night?
No, I didn't.
You didn't trick or treat last night?
No, actually not at all, really. I had mine a week ago, you know what I mean? So I'm pretty good. I've been pretty good, so.
Awesome. For those who got that email, you should know what that means. Okay, then, with that being said, Frank, you are a superstar in my eyes. Kennedy loves you to death. He's so excited for you. You know, when we first started, I was like, you got to talk to Frank. I know I've tried to get him pumped up, but you got to get with him and give him some pointers. I mean, get on him. He's like, all right, brother, I'll do it, you know.
I use that. No more hopeful marketing of TV, yellow pages, newspaper, where you bought an ad and you hoped somebody saw it. Our system, you're going to know your ROI.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Awesome. Well, guys, it's been a great another hour of Cup of Joe. Frank, your success right now is just excellent. And just keep going, man. I mean, this is how we started out. We started out with one or two, and then we kept going. And it gets easier to talk to people. I mean, like Bill says, I mean, you got to know which direction you're going. And I hope, Frank, you have a schedule of things you're trying to do each and every day to get yourself in a better position. Yeah, definitely. There you go. That's good. Because a lot of people miss out on those goals and writing down things. And if you haven't joined the 32-day challenge, you need to, request to be in that group. Bill's doing some awesome stuff. I'm in it. I have my own. I've started a long time ago early, but I chime in. Like, I try to do something every day talking about what I've been doing, And there are some great people in this group, man. Oh, my gosh. And listening to their videos, it is so awesome. So I do encourage you guys to watch that. Always check for updates on SaturdayCupOfJoe.com. And if you're looking for the replay, you can always go to SaturdayCupOfJoe.com/live. And you can always look for the up-and-coming new speakers or guests, whatever. And we might have some type of extra fun for you there so you can actually download or have. Frank, one last word here, and I'm just going to put you on the spot, okay? And I'm just going to I'm going to do this, okay? So let me ask you this, man. How is life right now?
Life is
See,
good.
you were getting all worried like I was going to ask you something hard.
Where does the fire go when you put it out? No, I wouldn't.
Right. No, seriously, go ahead.
I'm enjoying it. Less stress. My health is the best it's been in a decade. I'm enjoying what I'm doing. I love learning. At some point I always think that, well, I got enough here now. Now I know enough. Hey, in this business, there is always something else to learn. And I guess where I'm wired is I love the knowledge because to me, yeah, if I learn about Facebook marketing or if I learn about speed selling, whatever it is, I'm making myself more useful. So I'm trying to be a sponge, and I enjoy everything that I'm doing learning. The people are some of the most intelligent that I've ever met, some of the most caring and sharing that I've ever met. And I'm talking this Video Alpha group. So the people that I'm involved with right now, and I know I'm not as in the Video Alpha on Facebook as much because I'm trying to do more right now out, but it's absolutely fun, and I feel so blessed and lucky and fortunate. And again, it goes back to how we started. Grateful that I found Video Alpha, or you found me, or however it happened. So I'm very, very grateful and very happy.
Awesome. That's so cool. We're glad. I mean, because that's really what's most important to Lev and I, is that you're getting success, you're having fun, you're learning stuff. Like you said, you're becoming a sponge. You know, I mean, and that's good. That's what you need. It's what you need to do. There's nothing wrong with constantly learning. I learned that a long time ago. I had a guy, a very wealthy guy, tell me that. He's like, whenever you stop learning, you stop being teachable. And he said at that point your income will start to reverse.
Yeah, I've heard that from the other Bill Walsh that comes here in Dallas frequently. He's another millionaire. See how I put that into existing for you, brother? He's the other millionaire. You see that?
The other one, yep.
Yeah, he's the other millionaire. And he said most people die because they quit willing to learn.
Yep.
And that goes with business too. Yeah, it's true. Wow. All right. The G Plus from Zane Miller's course, it's about to end, guys. And so you need to go check that out. Also, if you have not, we're giving away some special bonuses if you bought those links. So PM us. Yep. Anyway, that's about it. Frank, this has been awesome. I knew it would be awesome. I couldn't sleep last night because it was just hard. I was like, Frank is coming on. I'm so excited for him, you know. And I literally was up all night going, oh, my gosh, what am I going to ask him? What am I going to ask him? So there's so many things I want to ask you, but I think we did well, buddy. I mean,
you did too. I hope somebody got some value out of this, especially helping the new people.
You know, if they go back and really, I know it's hard to say that, but if they go back in the beginning of this Video Alpha group and see all the stuff that you have posted way back then to now, man, it's going to take them probably months to get the scroll. Their computer will probably fry if they keep trying to scroll down on that. But if they go back and check that out and see how you started and all the questions you asked, then they'll see that you're an action taker. And that's exactly what it takes to get out there, is to become an action taker. I mean, most people will get the information and learn, but then they will stop, you know. Bill and I have been absent from the group like this past week or two because we've been learning. I mean, you got to learn and know exactly what you're about to do before you're going to become an expert on something. You got to test and fail and keep testing until you find winners, and it's the same way with business, you know. That's the way it is.
Frank, I have to tell you, you just gave me a new idea that I'm going to test today and tomorrow, because I can't believe I never even thought about it until you said it. And I was like, I could pair that with this, and I could try this, you know what I mean? And when you just said it, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to try this. Because if it works, you know, it works. So, which is perfect.
Yeah, Churchill said, success is going from failure to failure without loss of enthusiasm.
Bingo. That's really it. Seriously.
I love it.
And it, you know, like, and that's why we talk about, like, especially in the 32-day challenge, but even more than that, just across the board, is how important enthusiasm is. Because enthusiasm overrides pretty much everything. Because you can either be, like, you can't be frustrated and have enthusiasm at the same time. It's not possible.
I got to make a comment on this, because I had it down on my book here to mention this, and then you brought it up here. Interesting, when in my sales teams, one of the first books that I would have them read, maybe the first 2 chapters, deals with enthusiasm. There is a book called How I Raised Myself from Failure to Success in Selling by Frank Bettinger. And you're shaking your head. Do you know this book?
I do. You know what? And I totally forgot about it. I haven't seen that book in probably 5 years.
I would make my staff read it, the first few chapters, because it's all about enthusiasm, where this guy got cut because he was lackadaisical, and he made a conscious decision to act enthusiastic, and all of a sudden they called him Pep Bettinger, and he tripled his salary at the next club, and even though he didn't feel it, he put on the act that he was enthusiastic, so for everybody else, he was enthusiastic, and that's when it clicked for him. So, yeah.
It really is. I mean, there's a lot of them. There's like Who Moved My Cheese, but I still like that one probably the best. That's probably one of the better books. And if I remember, isn't that only like 90 pages?
Yeah, it's not very long. Book. And I think he's one of the guys that taught Carnegie his stuff, too. I mean, the book's that old. So if I'm right.
trying to remember what the other one is. There's another one. It's a blue book. It's very similar to that. Oh, it's called The Slight Edge. That's the name of the book. Yeah, it talks about like basically the 1%. You know, basically what you've been doing for the last couple of weeks to month. You know what I mean? That you've changed 1 degree, and over time it's multiplied, and now you're at like 30 degrees. So you just got stuff cranking. So.
Awesome stuff. And if you guys don't mind, why don't y'all put those links or some type of place where they can find those books, because that's something that they can use and read, and I'm sure they would love to have that information out there. So if you don't mind later on putting that in the Facebook group, and that would be a great thing for a guide for some guys to go out and check out. Guys, it's time. Once again, thank you guys for joining us for another exciting Cup of Joe. This has been great. We have our awesome Bill Walsh.
Woot woot.
There you go. And then we have Frank. Say something, Frank.
Big money, big money, big money.
There you go. And, of course, I'm Lil Moore. Thank you guys for joining us. I hope you go out and do something special this week. Remember, the holiday seasons are coming upon us. If you haven't got your holiday niches out there, you're probably too late, because your competition is probably ahead of you, so you should have started 2 months ago. I mentioned that to you like 3 months ago, actually. But with that being said, thank you for joining us. We'll talk to you guys soon. Have a great Saturday. Hook 'em horns. Go Huskers. And I don't know what Bill team is, but go Bills team.
Bye.
Bye, y'all. We'll see you later.
Yeah.